In this video, we're going to read about the rock cycle. Now, this is the picture of a rock cycle. So, no rock remains the same. With time, pressure, and other natural forces, they transform. Remember, we called igneous rocks as primary rocks, and the reason is because they are directly formed from the magma and lava when these molten material solidifies. So, anything that is formed from the basic most ingredient of earth has to be termed as primary rocks. Now that we know igneous rocks are called primary rocks, ultimately the other rocks, that is the sedimentary and metamorphic rocks, are called as secondary because they are formed from igneous rocks. Let me explain how. You see, igneous rocks are the reason sedimentary and metamorphic rock exist. Let's see it as a story. Imagine the magma coming out of the mantle through volcanic eruption. Now this magma cools down and becomes solid crystal, and that is how igneous rocks are formed. Now as time passes, various weathering agents, or we can also call them exogenous forces like wind, rain, glacier activities, acts on this igneous rocks, and they slowly turn into, or rather I would say break rocks into these small fragments or debris which we call as sediments. And then these small fragments or debris are buried under layers and layers. With time and pressure, they cement together into sedimentary rocks, and this process is called lithification. I have a video on sedimentary rocks, the link is in the description. In that I have explained how a sedimentary rock breaks into smaller chunks or debris, and when you see those debris, you can easily relate what I'm talking about. So that was the formation of sedimentary rocks from igneous rocks. Now this sedimentary rock has the tendency to break apart again into smaller debris or sediments. Now comes the part where we need to find out how metamorphic rocks are formed. Do you remember that caterpillar changes into butterfly? We call that process as metamorphosis. So this metamorphosis occurs in rocks as well, especially when they are heated to 300 to 700 degrees Celsius. Now where does the heat come from? Now inside the earth there is tremendous amount of heat due to pressure. Push your hands together very hard and you can feel the heat. Rub them and due to friction you will have heat. Similarly, when Earth's tectonic plate move around, it produces heat. When the plates converges, meaning comes closer, they build mountains. Now that is also a tremendous amount of pressure and heat. Now that we know how the heat comes from, what does this heat do to the rocks? It bakes them. Just like how you bake a cookie from dough, it does not melt the dough, right? It changes its form. Similarly, rocks do not melt, it transforms into metamorphic rocks. That's why you'll find metamorphic rocks mostly in mountain areas. And again, with exogenous forces like wind, water, these metamorphic rocks can be broken and washed away into sediments, and these sediments can again make sedimentary rocks. The rock cycle never stops. Metamorphic and igneous rocks find their way into the mantle through subduction. It happens when two plates converges, and then one plate goes under another. This way, all these metamorphic and igneous rocks find their way into the mantle. And we know mantle consists of molten rocks called magma, and again magma comes out on the surface through volcanic activity, and that's how you find the sources of igneous rocks. So this is the rock cycle. I hope you understood with this illustration. If you want to see more of such educational content, make sure you're subscribed. By doing so, you'll get an alert when my next video comes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.